Alright boys, if you want to lock in and make millions of coins in Madden 25, then you need to try out Mud Exchange. Mud Exchange is the best all-in-one Madden coin making tool service on the market right now. They got a bunch of different and unique tools on their platform that will allow you to save millions of coins as well as make so much bread. I've been playing around with Mud Exchange for a few days now, and my current favorite tool is the Snipe Spotter. How this works right here, snipes are going to pop up, you buy them, you sell them, you make coins, repeat. Yeah, you're seeing that right. Cards that are currently being posted up to the auction house that Mud Exchange views as a snipeable price are coming up into this filter. You search for these cards, you buy the cards, you sell them off. They literally have a dashboard of every single profitable set. If you do want to try out Mud Exchange, go down to the link in my description and use code MOSHI for 5% off your order. And once again, shout out Mud Exchange. Yo, what is good, fellas, and hope you boys are all having a fantastic day. Today we're talking about the best abilities and superstar X factors you need to use today in Madden 25. Before we hop into it, if you guys have not already, go down there and drop a like. And if you are new around here, we do post 3 daily Madden Ultimate Team videos just like this one each and every single day. So if that does sound like something you guys would be interested in, odds are you boys are all in the right place. When it comes to the best X factors and abilities in this game, I did upload this video about 3 weeks ago. But 3 weeks ago from today, we were in the middle of Zero Chill. Every single player in the game had free abilities, and the ability landscape looked very different than it does right now. And because of that, you really have to decide what you value versus what you don't value versus what abilities are good and what X factors are good. So with that all said, let's just dive straight into it. Let's start at quarterback like we always do around here. And today when we go through the best abilities, I'm going to tell you what I think is the best up, and then I'll say what I think is number 2, number 3, number 4, and so on and so forth. Due to the fact that we don't have free abilities all over the field, you have to make decisions on where you want to spend your ability points as well as your X factors. I do think the best quarterback ability to this date is still going to be Gunslinger. The reason we're on Trevor Lawrence right now, he does get it for 2 AP, which at the time of this recording is the cheapest you can get it for. But not be shocked if we see a 1 AP LTD quarterback dropping this week with the playoff promo, but here we are right now on Trevor Lawrence. To this day, Gunslinger is still the best quarterbacking ability. It grants faster passing speeds or faster throwing animations. If you didn't know, every quarterback in this game has a different throwing animation, very similar to 2K jump shot releases. Everyone has their own unique and different one, and with that, some are better and some are god-awful. Tossing Gunslinger on it makes their throwing animation even faster, and in a world where nano man blitzes are destroying defensive metas, you need to be able to get the ball out faster. That's why I love Gunslinger. Next up, I got a combination of Master Tack and Hot Route Master. If you don't know what Master Tack is, it's Hot Route Master, but then also allows you to have quick playmaking and reactions. I'm telling you guys, you want this. It speeds up the Hot Route animation and also allows you to have faster playmakers on your field. It is the Playmaker ability, Hot Route Master, and I'm pretty sure Conductor all tied into one. Of course, Hot Route Master grants 4 additional Hot Routes. On Trevor Lawrence, for example, he gets Hot Route Master for 3 AP and then Master Tack for 4. I would run Master Tack for 4. Right now, the best stack for me you can have on a quarterback is going to be Master Tack as well as Gunslinger. The next ability we're going to be talking about when it comes to the quarterbacks is going to be Conductor. I don't exactly know if where Trevor Lawrence gets it. Right here for 2 AP. This speeds up the Hot Route animation and also with the blocking adjustments. How many times do you guys put out a Hot Route and your quarterback does this whole hand animation thing and it takes so much time? With Conductor, it basically gets rid of that. You're able to make more adjustments faster. You're able to quick snap your opponent. You're also able to beat the play clock violation by using Conductor. The worst top tier ability when it comes to quarterback, and it's really good, is going to be Gift Wrap. Now, right now, Gift Wrap is not something many people can fit onto their AP, but when you have the opportunity to fit Gift Wrap onto your team, highly recommend it. This is a great counter to all of the KOs we'll talk about when we get to the defensive side of things. Having Gift Wrap gives a higher chance to complete passes to uncovered targets. Trust me, you're going to want this when KOs are all over the field. All right, so talking X factors right now, my personal favorite is going to be Gambit. This grants faster passes that can't be picked off by AI defenders. Like I said, with Gunslinger, you want to get the ball out fast, and well, that is exactly what Gambit will do for you. Of course, it does have the feature of, not being able to be picked off by AI defenders, but for me, it's really the faster passes that I'm rocking with. Dots is another very good one. Bazooka is always a good time. There is a lot of cool things in here that you can mess around with if you run the ball a lot. Truz will be good for you. Escape Artist isn't what it used to be, but definitely I'm a big fan of Gambit. I know people also do like all of these X ones up here, X3. They're just really hard to fit onto your team right now with no free abilities, and, AP only being 8 on offense. Deeper we get into the game, the X3 X factors, they will become relevant again. We do have AKAs dropping, I'm pretty sure tomorrow. Those reveals will probably happen today. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with those glowing X factors, but as of right now on the quarterback side of things, I would probably go with Gambit. All right, so let's talk running back now, and if you want to talk about a position group that got absolutely destroyed by sub-zero abilities being pulled from the game, look no further than the halfback position. When it comes to the best X factor to run on your running backs, I think there are a few ways you can go about it. Obviously, running back apprentice is very good. Would not use it as an X factor. I honestly would not use any of these except tank and freight train. Or if you're using an angry runs running back, please use the angry runs X factor. But besides those three, I don't think you need to run an X factor on your halfback. I personally don't do it. I am a big fan of tank right now in the game. We'll get there in a second, but I just don't necessarily think you need to do it. Now, speaking of what abilities are good on your running backs, if you are not using a hot route master or master tack quarterback and you like to throw Texas routes to your running back, you're going to need to use running back apprentice. That's going to give you additional hot routes to your running back and running back only. The other running back ability I personally am having a very good time with, it is tank. Now, sub-zero abilities are out of the game. There are no more discounts, so I'm not using tank anymore, but my Sean Alexander with tank, the card was gross. This is going to break more hit stick tackles and just honestly just break more tackles in general. Very good ability, hard to fit into offenses right now, but if you can, I really do recommend it. And then after that, like evasive is cool, but it's not as good as it used to be. And you really just don't need to be running abilities on your running back, this time of the game. As we get deeper into the cycle and more cards get free and discounted abilities, yes, you will want to run X factors abilities on your halfbacks, but as of right now, there just really isn't much of a reason. I'm gonna say the run game is bad because I run the football a lot, but it's definitely not what it used to be, so there really isn't much of a reason to do it at all. I'm one of those people who say the run game is god-awful and you shouldn't do it because I like to run the football in this game, but it's just not as good as it used to be. It will get there eventually, especially when we get more X factors and abilities that will be able to fit on your running backs, but as of right now, I just stay away from it. Well, I'm going to group wide receivers and tight ends into one. As of right now, Vanguard is not in the game, so you really don't have to worry about running anything on your tight ends, but let's take a look at wide receivers. When it comes to the best X factors, few ways you could go about it. Obviously, like a jukebox or a mid-elite, I would stay away from these personally. I know I said it during the quarterback portion of the video, but I'm going to say it one more time. I don't think you need to spend AP on your X factors. If you have an additional AP to spare, by all means, go for it. But for me right now, I don't, so I don't personally do it, and my team is doing just fine. When it comes to receivers, though, I think double me is always pretty good. I haven't seen rack 'em up and yak 'em up to its full potential, but I'm sure when we get those cards with glowing X factors tied into them, they're going to be very good. I want you guys to think back to AKA Yak 'em Up last year. It might be AKA Rack 'em Up. Either way, both of those are going to be disgusting. They were very good last year. Same concept as last year in this year's game, so just stay tuned for those. When it comes to the wide receiver abilities, obviously, if you aren't using a hot route master or master attack quarterback, you are going to want to use wide receiver apprentice. Having the ability to throw zig routes, short crossers, deep crossers is something you are going to want to have the ability to do. Trust me, it'll change your life. If you have never thrown a zig route, you're gonna want wide receiver apprentice. After that, it gets a little bit interesting. I really do like route tech right now. This is going to grant quicker cuts while running routes. This is basically all of the deep out, deep in, and all of these abilities right here tied into one. So it makes your receiver just run better routes. Anything that makes your wide receiver run better routes, why would you not want to use it? The real issue with this ability right now, it is super, super expensive and very hard to fit onto your team. But as we get deeper into the playoff promo, we enter into the Super Bowl promo, route tech as a discounted ability will be popping up more than you know. I was running a lot of tank on my wide receivers during Zero Chill. Obviously don't have the space right now, but this will be good when you can fit it onto your team. The other wide receiver ability I do like is going to be Slot-O-Matic. This is going to grant better cuts and catching on short slot routes. If you have a wide receiver who is primarily going to play in your slot, this is something you should look to run on them. Like I said, I don't think you need to run anything on your tight ends, but I do want to talk about the offensive line because it is officially time that offensive line abilities do kind of matter. There's one thing I want you guys to take away from this video today. It is that the ability game right now, it's really hard to get every single ability you want to use on your field. It's actually impossible. So take that for what what you will, but just try to remember or write down like what is good, what's not good, what you should be using, because I'm telling you guys, when discounted abilities become a real thing, you're going to want to know what to use. Of course, if you guys have any questions about abilities, X factors, please feel free to ask them down below in the comment section. Okay, so moving on to the offensive line now, there are a lot of ways you can go about this. Post up, very good. 2 AP, this will give you dominant when engaged in double team blocks. This was very good towards the end of Madden 24. It really helped counter inside stuff, which we'll get there in a second. So, post up might be something you want to think about using. Identifier, another very good ability, highlights the defenders your opponent is controlling. Wouldn't it be nice to know where your opponent is usering on the field? Well, Identifier will basically do that for you every single time. Edge protector, this is what you want to use on your tackles. Stronger pass protections versus elite edge rushers. Once edge threat elite becomes something we see every single game we load in, edge protector is going to be required. As of right now, that's not something we currently have to deal with. Edge threat elite is very good. Edge protector does counter that. You are going to want to run this on your tackles. All day is another very good offensive line ability, better protection against frequent shed attempts. I would probably run this on my guards, and the rest of these are cool, but really the 4 we talked about, those are what you want to think about using when it comes to your offensive line. If you run a lot of screens, then maybe Nasty Streak, but it's a really specific ability, and if you get it for free on somebody, by all means, go out there and run it. It's really good for what it is doing. Dominant impact block wins against DBs and linebackers. It's broken when it comes to that, but how often is your left guard going to be blocking a defensive back? So take that for what you will. Very good, very hard to get it activated. And to rank the importance of the offensive line abilities, I would probably go edge protector, identifier, then post up, then we'll talk about all day, then nasty streak. Again, pick and choose based on what you use for your team. Any questions, drop them down in the comment section. Let's talk about defense now. I was really excited to talk about defense because my thoughts on what is the best defensive ability has changed up. It is no longer going to be pick artist. This is post big patch earlier this week. I think the best defensive ability you can run on your DBs is going to be any of the KOs. If you don't know what flat zone KO, short route KO, mid zone KO, mid out zone KO do, basically, they knock out the ball when a wide receiver is in that zone where your DB is at and they get hit while they are catching it. My personal favorite is going to be mid-zone KO. This counters all of those stupid seam routes or skinny post or honestly even corner routes every now and then. Even though corner routes typically are a deep zone, occasionally they will fall under the mid-zone KO. And it is very, very good. How many times does it look like your wide receiver has a easy catch and then the DB comes in late, knocks the ball out? I'm telling you guys, that is going to be some form of a KO. This is something everyone was using during Zero Chill. It isn't going to be as prevalent because, well, it's just harder to fit it on. But for the most case, most DBs get it for 2 AP. It means you can have 5 defensive backs with a KO on your field. I prefer mid-zone on DBs and then deep zone on safeties. This right here is something you have to be using. If you've watched any of these videos of mine, though, we are big fans of pick artist around here. This was the best one for basically the entirety of Madden 25. The KOs did just pass it, though. It gives you better catching and improved stamina on interception returns. Jens, how many times do your DBs just drop picks? I'll say it has been better post-patch. Still not great, but definitely better. Therefore, the KOs did pass it up. Secure Tackler is an ability I really like, especially on safeties. This is going to give you a higher success rate on conservative tackles. As soon as you can get, Secure Tackler for free, I would rock with it. One of the cards we got that dropped, I think it was Malcolm Jenkins, the legend that dropped yesterday, gets 1 AP Secure Tackler. I'm a big fan of Secure Tackler, so I'm really considering picking up that card. It's already hard enough to get stops in this game, so Secure Tackler really helps with those big plays after the catch. Definitely something you should look into. Like I said, if there's anything you take away from the defensive back and safety portion of abilities, you need to run KOs, as many KOs on your field as you can. When it comes to the X factors on the defensive backs and safeties, I think there are a few ways you can go. Inside Shade is pretty good. Definitely a good ability as well, just hard to fit it on. I personally run universal coverage all over my field. When this is activated, it acts as all of the KOs in one. So why would you not use it? Okay, so there is only one middle linebacker and user ability you need to use, and it is going to be Lurk Artist. This gives improved and spectacular picks for lurking defenders. This was a necessity in Madden 24 for linebackers to work. It's not anymore, but it just makes them better. Pretty much every linebacker that is going to drop from here on out will get this for 1 AP, especially field general middle linebackers. So if you use a middle linebacker and you want to, user on your middle linebacker, use Lurk Artist. I'm telling you guys, it makes a difference. When it comes to X Factors, I wouldn't use any X Factors. Honestly, X Factor wise, I would just use them all on your DBs, and again, go universal coverage or bottleneck. The last group we got today, though, is going to be the defensive line. I think there are a few ways you can go about putting abilities on your D-line. My personal favorite has been double or nothing since the start of this game. A lot of cards get it. Some of them do get it for a discount, so definitely look for those. It's right here. It grants dominant pass rush wins at twice the cost. It just makes your pass rushing a little bit better. Inside stuff on defensive tackles is becoming very good again. I would look for defensive tackles that get this at 1 AP, maybe a 0 AP, and I'd at least have one of those on your field. Of course, the best ability later down the line, endgame, will be Edge Threat Elite. Right now, we just have Edge Threat. This is dominant pass rush moves from the edge. As soon as we can get this at a discount, 1 AP, 0 AP, you are going to want to have this on both of your edge rushers. And the day that happens, that is when you are going to want to have those edge protectors on your tackles. Totally forgot to mention this, but the reason we use gift wrapped on offense is to counter those KOs. So gift wrapped on quarterback counters KOs. I know that's just randomly thrown there at the end, but my head is all over the place. It is a little bit early for me right now. That is okay. And that is everything we got this morning, fellas. Commanders play football today, so I got to go lock in and just pray to Jaden Daniels. But until then, have a fantastic rest of your Sunday morning. Go watch football. Maybe go outside. Let's go be social, fellas. I'll catch you boys later. Peace, gents. Have a good one.